Okay, so I know what you're thinking. How could the Earth possibly be a cone if it's not round, if it's not a sphere, and it's not a flat surface? What else could it be? Well, I'm starting a new generation of highly educated people that believe that the Earth was created into a cone shape. Now, the evidence that I'm about to show you will be mind-blowing, and I suggest to buckle your seatbelt because it's gonna be absolutely insane. Okay, let's start off with some questions. Gravity. How is there gravity? Is the Earth spinning? Is it revolving around something? We're gonna get into this very soon, but for now, let's just give you an idea of how I picture the Earth. Okay, so I have this Google sketch open right now. Let's create my way of how I view the Earth. Okay, so let's pick up some color. Okay, so we got this thing right here. This is the Earth right here. Now, my theory is similar to flat Earth theory. Yes! Yeah, okay. Well, we have an interruption from the parents. Okay. Anyways, back to this. Alright. So we got North America right here. South America right here. Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia. Okay. Now, this is what we see. These are the continents. But one thing that they lied to us about is Antarctica in the Arctic Ocean and all that kind of crap. Okay, it's actually an ice wall that surrounds us. And that idea of north, south, east, and west is completely fake. When they talk about north, they mean going up, and then usually the northern is cold, and the more south you get, the more closer you get to the equator, the hotter it gets. But that's totally fake. The closer you get to the outside of the world, the colder it gets. Okay? And that's why there's an ice wall that surrounds us. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is all directions are north and all directions are south. There are no actual directions, okay? This is flat Earth. This is my flat Earth. But how can you mine on a flat Earth? That's my question. So I created this theory of a cone. Now that is evidence right there. Okay. So, say you're an oil miner and you're just digging oil down. You got these pockets of oil, okay? These are in the cones. On a flat Earth, if you dug down, you would just dig right through the other side. But my cone theory prevents this because, well, it's a cone. It has something to dig into. This right here, this is what we call the center of the Earth. Okay? That's our idea of the center of the Earth. It's the hot place. This is why no one has cracked through the edge of the surface, okay? This is because it gets too hot. The oil miners dig through the cone and they use oil. That's all they want, okay? Now let's look up some real pictures of my theory, okay? If I look up just flat Earth, look what comes up. This flat disc, alright? Who the frick is calling me? Frick out of here. I'm trying to have some serious talk. Okay, look at this picture. This is pretty similar to what I think of as right, but actually, it doesn't have the ice wall. The ice wall is huge. Look at this. Ice wall. Now that's more like it. Okay, but now, what Who the frick is calling me? Oh wait, I'm trying to do some business here. So frick out of here. Alright. So, next step. What did I ask? I asked about gravity. How could gravity possibly exist on a flat, cone-shaped Earth? Well, let's go back to our sketch. Now, let's so we have this. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Okay, stop calling me. Frick. Okay, so we have our Earth. In my theory, the Earth is the center of everything. It's where we live on. It's where everything exists in the whole universe. Now, the next part of my theory. Now, how? Okay, so we're living on this cone shape right now, and we see the sun go by east to west every single day. How is this possible? Well, it just basically we're the center of everything. Everything else revolves around us. So let me make this a little bit smaller. We have our little cone shape Earth. Okay, then we have the sun, which rotates around the Earth. Okay, the sun is the biggest object in the sky just because it's the closest object to Earth. That is a proven fact, just because it's the biggest. Okay, I have some fellow cone earthers here. We have Carl Azus that says sup man. Then we have Jacob Schooler that says Earth is flat, I understand. Or pentagon dodecahedron. I was gonna prove that, but then I realized that there were some flaws in that theory. Carl Azus says the Earth is an n-gon. That just makes zero sense, so I'm just gonna not even answer that. Okay, so basically Earth is the center of everything. Okay, I'm sorry if you guys hear some chatter in the background. It's not I can't do anything about that. Okay, so next, what's the second biggest thing in the sky? The moon. The moon. Actually, I'm sorry, the sun is not the closest thing. It's actually the moon. This explains lunar and solar eclipses perfectly. The moon is around the same size as the sun. Justin Farish, I swear to God, if you call me one more time. Okay. So the moon is orbiting the cone-shaped Earth. Okay. When there's a perfect alignment, since it is the same exact size, it covers the sun completely, creating an effect of a solar eclipse. Now, this happens the same thing when the moon is over here and we cast a shadow on the moon, okay? But for the lunar eclipse, it's more like this is more of a lunar eclipse right here. Okay. So say this is our Earth. It's flat up there. And so yeah, for a lunar eclipse, it would have to be the sun up here and the moon down here. Okay, it just has to be, because our Earth, since it's cone shaped, is only rounded on the top. So therefore, we can only cast a circular shadow if the sun is hitting us from the top side. Jay Fair, how does this relate with the cone Earth theory? I have to explain the phenomenons of a spherical Earth and how a cone can fit those exact same things. Okay? Justin Farish, you're not a real theorist, so can you please just leave me alone? Alright. Now, with some hard evidence of how the spherical Earth is fake. Sphere Earth fake. Okay, I will prove. I'll use some solid evidence of how the round Earth is fake. Okay, see this picture. NASA released these pictures. This one in 2007, this one in 2012. Do you see the differences in the size of the continents? That just doesn't make sense. I mean, how can you change it midway from 2000 to how? Like, the continents don't grow. Okay, so this just automatically proves it's fake. Now, cone Earth theory. Basically like an ice cream cone. It's basically this, except a more enhanced version. No, it's basically this. Okay. Now, I haven't answered the question of gravity yet. Let's answer that right now. Okay. So we are in the Milky Way galaxy. That is the galaxy. Okay. Circling us. And our little cone-shaped Earth is right here. Accelerating forward at an alarming rate. Upwards. And you know what that rate is? It's accelerating forward at 9.8 meters per second. I don't know if I did that right, but meters per second. And guess what 9.8 meters per second is? Well, let's look it up. Gravity speed. Whatever. It's 9.8 meters per second. Like 9.8 gravity. So basically, this is the acceleration. 9.8 meters per second. Our Earth is going 9.8 meters per second around the Milky Way galaxy, slowly coming in to the black hole. Okay, we're eventually gonna get eaten by this one day, but unless we can figure out a way to stop that. So this proves. Okay, if you have any questions on my theory, I can easily answer them within a couple seconds, just because there's so much evidence about this theory. So please, if you guys have any questions about my theory, please drop a comment right now, and I'm willing to bet that I can answer it with logical proof and scientific evidence. Now, okay, if this person calls me one more time, I'm not picking up phone calls. Type it in the chat right now. Okay, so we have a question from Robin Rob. It says, what about the edges? Are you talking about this? This part of Earth right here? This why we don't see that? It's because NASA sees it. They have things orbiting this whole thing, but they only show us pictures of this top side. That's just the only logical proof. I mean, why would they show us a pyramid? I mean, this cone shape from the bottom of. No one wants to see that. Okay. NASA knows that Earthlings are not the smartest creatures, and so they show us pictures that are easy to understand. What we believe is true, what all the ancient map makers created, was this picture of the world, map of the world. Okay, so they basically, ancient map makers, well, not ancient, I mean, they first had to explore this and create this map. Okay, how could they create this map if the Earth was round? They would only see a portion of the Earth at a time. So basically, all maps just prove at least a flat Earth. The cone Earth is my theory, just because of like mining companies and how they haven't reached the bottom side of that. The cone Earth gives it some volume, some, you know. Oh, Robin Rob says, can you fall off the edge? Okay, so let me answer this. Remember the ice wall that I stated the ice wall that I stated around this. Hold on, let me get my thickness up. So we have an ice wall. This ice wall is Antarctica. Do you think anyone has ever gone to the center of Antarctica? No. No one knows what's in the center of Antarctica. For all we know, it could be the edge of the world, but no one goes there because it's just barren tundra. And that's just, like, no one ever explores that. No one, like, you wonder why this map doesn't have the ice wall. Because they're trying to hide it from us, okay? This wall knows. This is just a portion of the Great Ice Wall. It's just the only logical answer I can think of. Okay, so just a couple more questions here. Let me just read them. Okay. But what does Zuck have to do with this? Okay. Zuck is basically, he called me yesterday and he gave me all this data that he drew from his Facebook users. It stated that nearly everyone believes in the sphere Earth. Okay, but Zuck and I have a plan to prove to everyone and prove against NASA that the Earth is a cone. Okay, Zuck and I are just business partners, and yeah. Now the next question: why would the ice wall melt from global warming? Okay, global warming is a hoax. Everyone knows that. It's just basically global warming is just we got a little too close to the sun when we were accelerating up at 9.8 meters per second. We got a little too close one day, and it melted a little bit of the ice wall off. But I think we'll be fine. The polar bears, we don't really need those. And the polar ice caps are fake. It's an even ice wall around the whole entire thing. So basically, they were lying to you about that too. When will you die? Well, it's hard to tell, but I'd say in around 70 years. Okay. If you have, like, I see how not many people have questions on this theory because they're just so baffled. Because it's just, my evidence proves them wrong with every question they have. I can prove them wrong instantly. Jay Fair, what is your question, Jay Fair? Brosif1466 says, does the cone rotate? Rotation is another big issue that I have to prove, and my question to that is no, it does not rotate. It does not rotate. If it did rotate, you know what would happen? If it did rotate, like, the Earth does not spin. That's one crazy thing that they made up. It does not rotate. How could it possibly rotate? If it were rotating, then okay, that's making me mad. If the Earth rotated, how come when I jump up in the air, I don't land 1,000 miles away? Because it states, well, let's look up how fast does the Earth rotate. Let's look this up. Okay, 1,000 miles per hour. Okay, that's great. Okay, so if I jump up in the air, I should move a couple inches if it's rotating on an axis, but that doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. So there's no way I can possibly believe what they're trying to tell me. Also, there was a test to prove that the Earth does not rotate. So there's no rotation in this. So there's no rotation. Okay, and you want to know the test that they did was when the blimp was invented. They flew it up in the air, and they said, and the blimp stayed in place. It just went straight up. Okay? And the blimp stayed up there, and they said, "We'll wait here 1 hour." They waited there 1 hour. What does it say? It says about 1,000 miles per hour. Based on this fact, they should have moved 1,000 miles from where they started. But you know what happened? They stayed in that exact spot. That is how I know that the Earth does not rotate. Another question. Is the sun a cone? No, the Earth is the only cone. The reason for that is because it does not revolve around anything except the Milky Way galaxy. So therefore, there's no reason for it to be a sphere or anything. But the sun, that has a reason. It has a rotational force that acts upon its volume, which collapses. It was originally a cone. Let's just state that right now. It's made of hydrogen, helium, that crap that we don't really care about because we're just talking about form right now. So it was once a nice cone, but since the rotational force that is acting upon it, it collapsed into a spherical shape. Broseph said, "Is there only life on Earth because it is shaped like a cone?" Yes, and it is the center of the universe.
Nikki?
Yes?
5 minutes for hanging out with Dad.
Okay, that's great. I'm proving that the Earth is a cone. I'm live on stream right now, so.
Okay, I'll back out of the way. That's awesome.
That was my mother. Okay, she's a faithful cone earther. But anyways, so nothing else in the world is a cone except the Earth. Alright? Is there only life on Earth because it's shaped like a cone? Yes. I'm sorry, that's the only truth. It's the only planet that has these fine oceans. So, and where does all life come from? The oceans. So, yes, it's because it's a cone. Just because it is. Okay. What about the other? Oh yeah, everything else except the Earth is a spherical shape because of the rotational force that acts upon it. It's the final thing that I could say, brothers. How will the Earth die, and why do they not teach this in school? They don't teach this in school because they know that human beings, the Homo sapiens, are not intelligent enough to understand physics and that kind of stuff, because they just don't want to teach little kids to go think that their Earth is like an ice cream cone, but in reality it is. If they taught us this, then we would just go insane and just blow up the Earth. Here's what we try to do. We would try to walk off the edge of Antarctica, and they don't want little kids buying plane tickets to Antarctica just to jump off the edge. Jacob Schooler says, Greek philosopher Aristotle figured this one in 350 BC, and there's nothing's changed. Different constellations are visible from different altitudes. Are you trying to prove me wrong, Jacob Schooler, or are you agreeing with me? Are you saying that Aristotle is agreeing with me, or is he denying my claim here? I'm going to answer that, but for now, Broseph1466 said, "Who created the cone theory?" I like to say that I created this theory just because I'm the first one who ever thought of this. It just popped into my mind one day when I was in the shower, just thinking about random crap. But honestly, I think I'm about to write a book and publish this. What is my claim, evidence, reasoning? My claim is that the Earth is the cone. My evidence is all this scientific proof. My evidence is this live stream right now. There's no question that can prove me wrong. I'm sorry, there just is not. Jacob Schooler, I'm gonna need a follow up to that comment you wrote right there. Different constellations are from different latitudes. That would mean that different constellations are visible from different latitudes? I don't understand that question. I'm very sorry. But definitely ancient people definitely knew that the Earth was a cone. But they just, I mean, come on, if you think about it, ever since, okay, when did people find out that the Earth was round? Okay, that's actually Pythagoras. Okay, so Pythagoras claimed that the Earth was round in 500 BC. Now, what about all the time before that? The thousands of years that humans have been alive. What do they think? That the Earth is flat. We've only known this idea for around 2,500 years. What happened all that time before that? Like, I'm with the people from 500 BC and later. Okay, so basically I'm agreeing with the ancient Greeks before Pythagoras. Pythagoras is one of my worst enemies. I mean, he works with triangles. He created the Pythagorean theorem. All those stupid theorems. Pythagoras is my worst enemy just because he thought the Earth was round 500 BC. Honestly, I completely disagree with this kid, and now I'm just dumbfounded by all the people who believe that the Earth is round just because of Pythagoras and his stupid theories. Okay, but Dad stated cone Earth theory is not a theory, it is the truth. I agree with that completely. But Dad, if you want to message me later on my Instagram, Spunky Fudge, we can create a group, Cone Earthers. It would be great. Jacob Schooler stated, your evidence that follows your theory is valuable and I accept it. Yes.
Can you move up your mouse up to there?
Yeah, okay.
Wait, what?
Okay, bye.
Wait, what if you have potato aim in Fortnite and you go...
Stop. I'm live right now, so you can leave me right now.
Nick, can you not take such big poops in the toilet?
Stop. Guys, he's joking. Don't worry. Okay, Jacob Schooler said, your evidence that follows your theory is valuable and I accept it. I am curious on if any scientific principles would be proven false. Stop. Go away. Close my door. Little frick. Okay. I'm curious if any scientific principles would be proven false, like aerodynamics, gravity, or mass, etc. Okay, aerodynamics. Why do we have wind? It's all because we're accelerating at 9.8 meters per second, and that friction from the acceleration and our surface in our atmosphere, that creates the wind when it goes down the valleys and into our faces. That is the wind, and our aerodynamics are perfect.
Nick, what are you doing though?
I don't know. You're not as highly intellectual as me, so you can leave me and close my door.
Real evidence that the Earth is a cone?
Yes, go away.
What are you doing?
Stop.
Greek philosopher Aristotle.
Dude, those are my cone earther friends. Go away. I'm trying to prove to everyone.
You're weird.
I have 4 viewers on me. Those are my loyal cone earthers.
Who? Jacob, Broseph, Butt Dad.
Yeah, okay, go away. You're not funny. I'm gonna lock my door next time. Johnny, I'm trying to prove something. Okay, so aerodynamics, we're perfect. We have the mountains to create wind. Anyways, do you believe that God created the earth because he loves ice cream? I mean, who did create the earth? Let's think this through. One theory suggests that it is... Go away! Okay, 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. One theory suggests who created the cone earth was the giant spaghetti monster. Giant spaghetti monster. This is This is just one of the theories that created the cone Earth. I mean, look at this. How could you possibly even prove this wrong? I mean, this is just solid evidence right here that the spaghetti monster created the cone Earth. I mean, look. He's arm wrestling Jesus Christ. Where's that picture? Right here. How could you even argue with that? Flying spaghetti monster could possibly be the god, but there are also other forces that could have acted upon it. Now, let's see more of the chat. Your brother could not comprehend the... Sorry, I can't read what that says. What does that say? Could not comprehend that we live on a cone Earth. That is correct. He's not on the same intellectual level as me and you. Jacob Schooler stated, do you want a donation to forward your scientific research? I'm honestly thinking about starting a Patreon. Loyal members should subscribe. We can have a discussion forum that can talk about the cone Earth theory and just be loyal members. Giant spaghetti monster is reliable force that created Earth. So anyways, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream for now. There may be more theories coming soon, because I always have ideas flowing in and out of my brain. I really appreciate you guys all coming out and viewing the stream. If you guys have any more questions, DM me on my Instagram, Spunky Fudge. No spaces, just Spunky Fudge. And I will see you guys in the next theory that I create. I appreciate all you guys for coming out here. I will be creating more theories. All right. See you guys. Thanks for coming out.